how do you see this podcast falling into the Collier County Bar Association's mission?
One part of our mission is to educate the community about the legal profession. So this will do that. And people that tune in will get to hear from lawyers that are experts in their field.
The podcasts that I'm familiar with are intended for lawyers. So this will reach a broader audience with not just the legal community, but those outside that might not know what lawyers do.
I think that this will help polish the reputation of the legal community here in Collier. And I think it's also going to help our members because since the pandemic, we don't get together the way we used to. And I think getting to see one of their colleagues talk in depth about things outside of the profession will help increase that collegiality that we've always enjoyed.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Collier County Bar Association's co-branded podcast, powered in partnership with Beyond the Briefcase. I'm Matthew Goodwin, and I'm honored to help bring this new platform to our community. Today, I'm joined by someone who plays a vital role in bringing Collier County's legal community together, Lisa Terwilliger, the Executive Director of the Collier County Bar Association. Lisa's been instrumental in building programs, events, and opportunities that connect our members and strengthen the profession here in Southwest Florida. Her leadership and vision are a big reason why we're able to launch this new co-branded podcast between the CCBA and Beyond the Briefcase. She brings not only organizational expertise, but also a deep passion for fostering community within the bar, and I'm thrilled to have her here as we introduce this new partnership and share what's ahead for our members, sponsors, and the entire Collier County legal family. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me, Matt. I really appreciate being here.
Well, I wore a tie just for you.
I see that.
I figured if we're going to be talking legal stuff and with lawyers, I might as well at least look like one. I try to look like a lawyer at least 1 to 2 days out of the week.
That's nice.
The summers here in Southwest Florida are a little hot to wear a tie year round. And since my practice doesn't require me to go to court, I usually skip the tie, leave it all in the garment closet here when I need it.
That's a smart idea.
Because you never know when someone's going to ask you to fill in for them at a hearing or something.
It's true.
So at the Collier County Bar Retreat, where you meet with the board, was it once a year or twice a year?
It's once a year. It's 2 days of long-range meetings, a lot of honest conversation, debate, and different perspectives that bring us the strength that we have at the Bar Association.
Well, at the last retreat, you talked about creating a new way to connect with the members in the community. Why did the idea of a podcast resonate?
Well, it's up to date. It's technologically savvy. And it gives our members the opportunity to reach a broader audience. We were talking about going digital with our adverse witness, and we wanted to make sure that our sponsors were still getting the value that they expect for their sponsorship. So we thought that this was one way to do that. It actually increases the value of that event and also not detract from what the members are getting.
So tell me, the adverse witness has a combination of articles, legal topics, and a lot of sponsors that have advertisements for the legal services and some even not legal services they provide.
Right.
And I think you nailed it when you decided to go digital because we're all trying to be more economically efficient, but also more environmentally
Absolutely.
better for the environment. So how do you see this podcast falling into the Collier County Bar Association's mission?
One part of our mission is to educate the community about the legal profession. So this will do that. And people that tune in will get to not talk to, but they'll hear from lawyers that are experts in their field, and they'll get to see inside the profession with experts.
Well, that's unique too, because the podcasts that I'm familiar with are intended for lawyers. So this will reach a broader audience with not just the legal community, but those outside that might not know what lawyers do.
That's correct. I think that this will help polish the reputation of the legal community here in Collier. And I think it's also going to help our members because since the pandemic, we don't get together the way we used to. I mean, we still have the same number of meetings, but it feels different. People feel a little bit more disconnected. And I think getting to see one of their colleagues talk in depth about things outside of the profession will help increase that collegiality that we've always enjoyed.
Yeah. I think you're right. And when you ask a lawyer to record themselves on camera, they're always very skeptical of what they're going to say, how it's going to be perceived, whether they violate any rules. So I was excited to start interviewing attorneys. And when you approached me, I had already had a long list of attorneys, some of which are already on the list that are sponsors of the local bar. So I can speak a little more freely on legal topics. These are unscripted interviews. So I think it's going to be great once we get jumping in. What are you most excited about showcasing?
Well, obviously our sponsors, because we couldn't do the programming that we do without them. And we are so grateful for their generosity and their support. But also bringing us all back together in a deeper way. And because I see that people really don't understand what lawyers do, I think that community aspect is going to be very important as well.
So that you'll foster more community involvement by introducing some of these topics, some of the sponsors, obviously, other member expertise. Um, you could even talk about some of the upcoming events. We get flooded with emails between the newsletter, I think once a month, and then the adverse witness. And then, of course, we get all our other
Yes.
emails and periodicals from the state bar and whatever special organizations we belong to. I think having this other medium, which is going to be in easily digestible chunks where they can play it on the radio or things like that. Well, tell me a little bit about the different sponsorships that the Collier County Bar offers.
We have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond sponsors. Each level gets a little bit more expensive, but they get a few more perks. So we were thinking, at least initially, to limit the podcast to the diamond and platinum sponsors. But we're also going to do video ads within the adverse witness, and that will be open to all the sponsors.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, that'll be really cool.
And you recently, the October issue of the Adverse Witness, you sort of introduced this.
I did. I told them why we made the decision and why this is going to happen and what we're looking to do with the podcast and the video clips. So we will keep reminding them over the next few months. I'll be sending out some emails and, we'll do a little bit of nudging to get people to get their little ads in, get that going. But we're hoping to roll with this all on January 1st.
Well, that's exciting. And we're in October now. I think last time we talked, I said it's going to come up real fast.
It always does. Everything comes up so much faster than you think it's going to. I mean, I try to plan events up to a year in advance, but they still get on top of me before I'm ready for them.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, this podcast is going to be produced in a professional studio with top quality audio video. So the sponsors are going to receive their premium exposure as opposed to just hitting a camera in your office or even having a scripted Q&A type session. So the way it will be is these will be open conversations with some structure. So
Right.
the guests will be able to preview the topics that we'll discuss, but we're not going to, practice answering specific questions. It just take the pressure off.
Right. Absolutely. And I think our sponsors are going to enjoy that.
I think so too. Well, the idea is about strengthening the relationships with the members and also the education, but more importantly, the visibility for the Collier County Bar.
Absolutely.
There's some programs we talked about that you don't have as much involvement in anymore. I know you're always, there's some events that you don't have a problem filling seats for, but you always have to advertise them so people can manage their calendars and things like that. I know the Lion of the Law is coming up, the DCA luncheon, or is it just dinner?
It's a dinner.
DCA dinner. That's right. Thank you. So I just see so much opportunity with getting this into video format. We might have, topics that we don't even think about now that'll come out from our conversations.
I think that's true. Things are always around the corner. And even though I've been doing this for almost 19 years, it still surprises me.
Yeah. Well, you surprised me my first year in town here about 11 years ago, where I saw how professional the organization was run. And then fast forwarding, you haven't really skipped a beat.
Thank you.
So I commend you for trying to offer something new, and I see nothing but good things coming out of it. Now, one of our first guests is going to be attorney Laird Lyle. and he's been the Diamond sponsor for how many years now?
Well, we rolled out the Diamond sponsor 3 years ago, and he has been exclusively our Diamond sponsor for each of those years.
Is there more than one Diamond sponsor opportunity?
No, we offered, it's a bid. So the highest bid gets Diamond, and anyone else that bids goes back to a platinum level, which is still fantastic. But we wanted that to feel a little bit exclusive because they're giving us a little bit more, and we just appreciate the support.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I'm excited to interview Laird. He was actually one of the attorneys on my list in his area of expertise as well. So we're also, some of the upcoming episodes, we're going to have a mix of legal leaders, community voices, and sponsor highlights. So some of these Collier County bar sponsors are not even lawyers or practicing attorneys, right? We have mediators.
We have a few, yes. It's mostly our local law firms, but we do have a few non-lawyer sponsors.
So we'll try to mix it up so we're not hearing from all the same expertise or subject matter experts back to back. So I encourage all the members to tune in. There's going to be tune in, share ideas, comment on episodes that come in, and even volunteer to be future guests, things. We can't think of it all, right? So make sure you tune into the next episode with Laird Lyle. There's going to be a YouTube channel, the Collier County Bar, which you'll be able to find. We'll make sure that details get sent out to everybody. And did you have any questions for me?
I think that we covered everything really well during our initial meeting, and I was just so happy that we were able to get you on board and that you were so eager to be on board. Because when we first started talking about this at the retreat, and the board is like, well, you can start doing a podcast. And I'm like, when?
And where?
Exactly. They were talking about making our break room the podcast area, and it's not big enough. And there's no way that we would be able to make it as lovely as this. This is so professional and so sleek. So you saved me from a lot of heartache.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the opportunity to be in front of everybody. So in addition to YouTube, you can find this on all the major podcast platforms once the episodes are published. So be sure to tune in. And thanks for tuning in today.